think you should look out the window.
You can't be serious. He's trying to stop the car.
Napoleon Solo comes from, well, his father was an Irish janitor in America. And he went over to the UK and snuck his way into European high society, fell in love with it, and lived in that world for a while. And then he got into the black market, and he was dealing antiques in the black market, and he became very, very good at it. And so good, in fact, that no one could catch him. He sort of took pride in the fact that he was this master of evasion. And the CIA desperately tried to catch him, and eventually was given up by a jealous mistress. And the CIA then jumped in and said, instead of going to jail, how about you work for us? So you're clearly good at what you do. And it wasn't much of a question, it was more of an ultimatum. And so he was forced to do this, and this is how he ends up working for the CIA, very reluctantly. But for him, it's certainly better than being in jail, because it means he can still skim money off the top and wear nice suits and wear nice shoes and ties and stuff.
We recently discovered the existence of an international criminal organization with ties to former Nazis.
We have no choice but to work together to infiltrate this organization.
We'll leave you two to get acquainted.
Ilya Kuryakin in Our Man from U.N.C.L.E. is a classic KGB spy. He grew up in the system, grew up in the Soviet Union. His lifelong goal has always been to be an operative for the KGB, and now he has it, and he has risen through the ranks, and he's become their top operative. He's very by the books. He's very much a calculating, cold spy. And he's just thrust into this position that he hates, and there's nothing he can do about it. And this guy he's working with, this Napoleon Solo, he's so unorthodox. He doesn't follow the rules. It doesn't seem like he even knows there are rules. But in a way, the two end up being greater than the sum of their parts. They end up being a good team, despite of all their differences.
Did you deactivate the alarm?
Model 7010 doesn't have an alarm.
Loving your work, cowboy.
This film tells the story of how it suddenly becomes necessary for a CIA agent to work in conjunction with a KGB agent because the matter in hand is so grave and urgent to the well-being and safety of the world.
For a special agent, you're not having a very special day, are you?
Waverley, he's the head of British Naval Intelligence, and he ends up being in charge of these two hero spies, Napoleon Solo and Ilya Kuryakin. In a way, this film's a sort of prequel to the TV series in that we see how that whole Man from U.N.C.L.E. group came about.
It doesn't have to match.
Have you seen the price of this handbag? It costs more than my car.
I've had such a fun time with this film. It's really been me and the boys. Elizabeth has a big part, but we've only had 2 scenes together so far. But no, we've been on a big journey and a long one. And they're just the most relaxed and cool, and they're such good actors. And it's been the biggest pleasure working with them.
Still no drink?
Don't you make me put you over my knee.
So you don't want to dance, but you do want to wrestle.
No, I did not say that.
I suppose it was the inception of the spy movie, really, that was the 60s, where it established a genre. And I suppose for anyone who was around at that time, they were influenced by the establishment of that genre. And they had a certain style to them, which we were interested in harking back to the sort of genesis of spy movies, what we were most impressed by when we were kids.
What are you doing?
I've been here before, and last time I fell rather badly and hurt my head.
What's really fantastic about this is the characters, and they're really unique. They exist within the realm of the stereotype that they are a spy or a villain, but they're like you've never seen them before, and that they're very modern as well. And I think that audiences will respond to seeing something they've known from another era remade for now, and I think that's really exciting.
EP's movie coverage is brought to you by Nintendo, makers of Splatoon for the Wii U.